Southeast Asia. South America's champions and 5-time World Cup winners face the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It is star-studded on both fronts, and for the Super Eagles, the Ligue 1 top scorer Victor Osimhen leading the line alongside Samu Chukwueze, the Villarreal phenom. You mentioned, Eric, Chichi not all that happy with recent performances. As Brazil have gone winless in 3 games since their Copa America triumph on home soil. They had a 17-match unbeaten run snapped by Peru in that 1-0 defeat. The others, a couple of draws against Colombia in Miami, Florida, and most recently last week, Thursday, against Senegal, 1-1.
And I don't think it's particularly surprising. You win a competition in home soil, and it's the pinnacle of your summer, maybe even your year. And then it's a bunch of friendlies. You're traveling all over the place, racking up those air miles. That takes a toll on players.
The ball rolls in Singapore. It's the 5-time world champions and the reigning South America Copa America winners, Brazil, getting us underway alongside Eric. They march high, they lay it off, does fall for Firmino. Lovely turn by Firmino, fires it wide. No Francis Usoho's goal.
Oh, that's brilliant work from Bobby Firmino. He does so well to hold up the ball.
Iwobi clipped Victor Osimhen, brought down by Osimhen, fires denied by Ederson, and Renan Lodi able to clear the danger. Dani Alves whipped in. Alves was an accurate delivery, but well defended by Semi Ajayi. West Brom center back there to put out the fire. Hold up, and he will be replaced by the Neymar. Maybe more of a precaution than anything else. This being
a lot of people to the airport and to the stadium to welcome their new signings.
Overran, recovered by Samu Chukwueze.
Those are players who will probably remain with those yellow jerseys for some time to come. Dani Alves, arguably the best Brazilian.
Samu Chukwueze working here against Renan Lodi. Chukwueze into the middle. Marquinhos. That was an adventurous clearance by Marquinhos, who puts it out for a corner kick.
Well, obviously felt bad for Ederson, who hasn't been very busy, so he wants to give him a little bit of action.
Chukwueze easily passing Renan Lodi. Chukwueze back into the middle, looking for Simon. And space to deliver the cross. Difficult.
Any turnovers?
This is Coutinho's just offside.
One less threat to contend with.
Everton. Start with wide by Casemiro. Sniffed out by Chukwueze. Early ball by Casemiro. The header's on target. But saved by Francis Uzoho. The D promising approach here. Firmino denied by Uzoho, who smothers it on the rebound.
Well, this all happens because Chidozie Awaziem goes down way too easily. He's trying to make the tackle on Everton.
Dani Alves catapulted into the area over the head of Firmino. It'll fall for Simon. Simon here against Dani Alves. Squared in from the penalty spot. It's a chance. 2 goals in as many games for Joe Aribo. Scored in his debut against Ukraine, and he's done it again. In his second appearance, Joe Aribo breaks the deadlock for the Super Eagles. Nigeria 1, Brazil 0.
Joe
dispossesses Iwobi, but they can't wrestle him to the ground. Losing his balance here. They're not going to give the foul.
This is a clear foul. The referee gives Artur the advantage. He can't.
Dispossessed by Ndidi. Nice turn by Osimhen, but dispossessed by Artur Ndidi. Artur. Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus squared in, and it's the captain Ikon to clear the danger. Corner kick given to Brazil.
Collins showed a little bit too. He's an unbelievable footballing director.
Switch by Artur. Dani Alves is caught offside. Renan Lodi. Coutinho finding a bit of space in the area. Squared back. Casemiro goes down by Moses Simon and a bit too aggressively.
And that's a silly foul from a player who's not used to defending too much. And it's usually his range for Neymar.
It is Coutinho who strikes it just wide of the target.
And from this angle, that did not miss by much. And he had Uzo scrambling.
Indeed, that was where we left you when we came on. And the new day, a new time, they say, a new sport in town. So much to talk about and so much to give to you, starting behind schedules. But then again, we appreciate you being here. Early this morning, we saw the razzmatazz of the rugby final. A chance for South Africa to truly get that right. We will come to look at that critically, come to look at how happy Johannesburg will be if this eventually happens. So much has been at stake, so many penalties missed. We'll truly get to look at it critically. Also, the EPL is on this afternoon. Bournemouth have their hands full against the United side that have plenty problems, but Chelsea is not one of them. We'll also get to look at the Nigerian League, a league that many have asked questions. When is this starting? Finally, it crawls back into action. We get to see how prepared the Nigerian, the LMC and all of that clusters around it are. I'm talking about the Nigerian, Nigerian Forum. We'll talk about the Nigerian Super Eagles. We've been told that names have been called for those that will be leading out there to play Benin. They say they have their hands full also with that. We'll get to tell you who have been invited and those who are on standby. These and many more only if you stay with us. So much to truly give to you. I haven't changed my name, I won't. On the day I do, you will be the first to know. Chris Obokwalo is my name. Tell your friends and your neighbors we did the fully charged 2 hours of non-sport or non-stop. We'll talk sports here and give you exactly where you love it to be. We will discuss everything in particular. Also with me here is no other but the ex-international and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Tony Wigwe is here in the studio. Tony, another time to talk sports, excitement in the air. I tell you, rugby is bringing out that excitement. The fans are already out there, and South Africa is trying to make a statement.
Yes, because of anyway, it's been nice, being on a break. And yes, it's nice to talk sports. There's a lot happening. Like you said, in rugby. So we'll get to see how the South Africans will do. But they are leading now, which is good for South Africa, though. Yeah,
6:15. I'm being told that's the live reports coming in for that. Also with us in the studio is a man who, when it comes to boxing, I think he's beginning to show that he knows what he's talking about. They're beginning to tell him that he's no longer a boy in the career, he's becoming a man. And so the Nigerian people, it's time. We have heard so many Nigerians, from the UFC and all of that. But he has been one thing with him, I have to say, is always rooted to where he comes from. Whenever you mention that name, Nigeria, he goes like that. He's ready. And they say this next weekend, he's ready to do another kill. They call him the knockout master. What can he do? Take a look at what he has done. We get to return. And so there you have it. He will be with us, and of course we will be with him. He's here with us, and of course we'll be with him on the set date. The date is set. I hope the Africans in UK and London, to be precise, will go out there and why not cuddle on to our own. Aziz is here with us. Dan Aziz. He is the current BBB of South of England champion. And he's ready to do battle next week, Saturday. He actually take this time. Immediately he leaves us, he's running back to make sure that he keeps fit. So we really appreciate his presence and being here with us. Dan, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
Same.
And I can see that you're ready to go.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
Okay, Dan, let's get it going. Saturday is the time, is the date.
Yeah.
And what are we expecting?
Expecting me to display the usual savagery that I do on my opponents. After this fight, I've got a fight in 3 weeks again against a very top competitor again. So this one is just, to just keep me under the lights, get myself used to it, because I like to be active. So yeah, expect a good event. I expect to entertain the fans and everybody that comes to support me. So yeah.
In terms of victory, it looks like it's already, you're already putting that as one of those in the bag.
No, yeah. Of course, I always expect victory, but I'm not looking past anybody. Even though I've got to fight 3-4 weeks after, I never put anybody. I never take anybody for granted. So I'm solely focused on my opponent for next week, and then after that, we can move on to the December 14th fight.
And I have to also say that, some of these fights makes boxers to lose weight.
Yeah,
and in your own part, for the fight next week, what do you do in particular?
Well, usually you always have to come in at a certain weight category. So probably now, a week until the time, I'll just be trying to shed a little bit of weight, get to the weight that I'm supposed to come in at. But usually I'm fit all year round anyway. I'm always in the gym, so it's not really a problem for me anyway.
Good. Yeah. Let's believe that this battle is already won.
Yes.
What are we looking for? God willing, of course. What are we looking forward to? What is the big arena?
The next fight after that, like I said, is against a top 10 opponent in the country. It's for the English title. So again, that's just another step up in the rankings. It's another step up onto the big stages. Last July, my last fight I fought at the O2 Arena, another big stage where I won my first title. So yeah, it was just a continual progression, everything step by step.
Good. I have to say that the Nigerian populace, most of them have not, come to back you as you would love to.
They need to, man, Chris, man. Coming up is hard, especially when you ain't got the big promoters behind you. So it's always good to try and get as much support as you can. The more support you have, the more the big stations and the big TV
everybody wants to love to you.
Yeah, they want to get me on the shows as well. So yeah, the more support I have, the better. And like you said, I always embrace my Nigerian heritage, even though I'm British born, but my roots is Nigerian. And every time I see a Nigerian or African even come to my fight to support me, I love it, and they're so supportive, and I just wish I could have more and more of them. So yeah, I guess the more I climb up the ladder, the more people will know of me. So yeah.
So before I bring Tony to ask you 1 or 2 questions, just wanted to also say that, for those of them watching us right now, it doesn't take for you to be the big boys out there before they begin to cuddle up to you.
Exactly.
This is really the time.
Exactly. It's like
for them to come and say, yeah, we'll support one of ours.
100%.
That's exactly what you're trying to say.
Exactly that. Because when you're at that stage, that's not when you need as much support. It's right now when you're on the come up. So yeah, like you said, this is the time to get behind someone who's up and coming. It's not when you reach there. That's when everybody should be trying to gravitate. Yes, and to be honest, it happened with Anthony Joshua. Once he got to that level, that's when everybody wanted to more gravitate towards him. But it's when you're starting off, that's where the real support is needed. So yeah.
Let me also say that we have all heard about how you started and how this became. Mommy said no, you won't do this and all of that. Till you now become like the boy who everybody wants to live to do whatever he wants to do. Some people are watching you out there. Some of these kids that are watching you out there that could be saying, I love boxing, but my parents are not allowing me to do this because they are scared of what could happen.
No, I totally understand, because boxing, it is a dangerous sport, and you need to be dedicated. It's something you have to be consistent with. It's not something you can, one day I want to try it, then the next day I'm out partying, drinking, or you have to live a monk life. It's very disciplined. So, if you do want to get involved, you have to take it serious. But one thing is to always try and stay in education, have something to fall back on, because that's something my mum installed in me. I told her I wanted to box, but she said, she didn't like it because, who wants this son getting... Yeah, exactly. So, but she said, you know what, if anything, please just make sure you got your education. So if anything happens, you got something to fall back on. And that's something I would advise anybody going into any type of sports, because it only takes one injury, something bad to go wrong, and then
out of it.
That's it, man. So yeah.
Tony, a young man who has been on the right foot, and always, stay true to his roots. Not everybody will want to cuddle up to his African heritage, but this is one of those who is in UK that every time he wants to be with the African populace.
No, it's refreshing anyway to see, because when you hear stories like this and how inspiring it will be to other young people or people, some of the guys born here, because the problem is here a lot of people who are born here seems to forget their roots, but with him championing that act, which would help also to inspire others, because yes, in as much as we're all British or anything, but we know our root back home. So, and that if we are able to get to our root back home, we will now be able to marry the two worlds, and which is good, because if we marry the two worlds, take for example Anthony Joshua now, he's been championed in Nigeria, he's been championed in Britain, so he's marrying the two worlds. So, and it takes a lot to be able to do that. So, and I think, and I give him praise for that, for coming out, sharing, and be proud enough to say, this is my root, I want to be, associated with it. And I hope that with this call, Nigerians will also come out to give him the random support that he needs, because like he said, he needs it now that he's going up, not when he's there and then we all remember, oh, he's one of us. No, we want to champion him now, and I believe that come time, people will also now celebrate you as you go along.
Good. Let's also ask about where it's going to be.
Yep.
Well, where they can buy tickets. All of this, we would like you to talk to them about, because it could be nice for the Africans to also come around.
Yes.
I see there's a lot of time we see people fight, and even people from Wales. You see people from Wales come over here to support their own. So why is that whenever we're having this, it's like one or two or four just sitting down and it could be nice to have the drums and why not? Why not?
Definitely.
Okay. Anyway, it's happening next week, but we need details.
Yeah, no. It's Your Call, which is in Bethnal Green. You can buy tickets on my website, danaziz.co.uk. So www.danaziz.co.uk. You can buy tickets on there. The link's on my Instagram as well. That's Dan_Aziz. Just come down. Like you said, we'd love to have the traditional drums. Another fighter that's been on this show as well, Larry Ekundayo.
Yeah.
I love fighting on these shows. Every time he fights, the population,
it's different.
Trumpets, drums, and it just makes the atmosphere so lovely. I'd like to have a bit of that as well. So,
why not? Yeah. Why not? While we're talking about yourself and loving what you're doing with your heritage, let's also move a bit and talk about one of your friends, who was Lawrence. Unfortunately, couldn't join us today for one of the reasons or the other. We only last week we saw him fight. Brilliant display he showed, and from this show, I think we want to say congratulations to Lawrence if you're watching. He is also trying to step the ladder, isn't he?
Of course, definitely, he's doing very well. He just beat the former European champion, who was undefeated as well, strong man. And he's doing very well. I think his next fight will probably be for a world title. In only just, I think maybe his 14th fight, and he's been a pro maybe 3 years or something like that, and he's already moving on to world level. So I've got to commend him for that. That's something I would like to emulate, and he's definitely an inspiration for myself amongst other people. So he's another Nigerian we need to get behind as well. So
Good. Lawrence, I'll call him another Nigerian named blood, and we hope he cuddles up to that tradition, which truly, we hope so. Some of the pictures coming to you are that of Aziz and Lawrence, what they have, the damages. The damages that they have done with other boxers. Remember, you are still watching the ABC Sports, and these are some of the fights, and what we can see is Lawrence and Anthony Joshua. Bringing in Anthony Joshua, that reminds me, his fight is just stowed away in December. Saudi Arabia, to be precise. So much to be talked about, but then again, there is fear in town. Will he go there to conquer, or will it be another shamble display? I'm not sure. Let me bring you in, Tony. Tony, this is a time for Anthony to show that what we saw, the last time wasn't. It was one of those, bad days in the office. He have his hand full in Saudi Arabia very soon.
Yeah, definitely, because whether he likes it or not, as a sportsman, when you lose a fight, it's going to play on you, mentally on your head. So I believe that he would have learned his mistake, from the past fights that he fought with the opponent. But the main thing is Saudi Arabia, going to Saudi. But I think it's because of the terms and conditions of the contract.
The other Reigns wanted another side. Anthony wanted somewhere else. Then they would have to go for a neutral, and that was the only neutral venue they could point.
Yeah, because of if you look at it, Tony has to find a way to be able to live above this guy because of the way he lost the fight. He wasn't just knocked out; he was beaten in that fight. To be honest with you, he was beaten. So that psychological side of it, he has to go past it. I'm not a boxer, because I cannot really tell what he's going to say. But on the terms of the sporting side, as a sportsman, when you have a bad day at the office, maybe on the pitch, on the track, or anywhere, when you go home, it keeps playing on your mind because you keep asking yourself, "What did you do wrong? How do you, improve on that?" So, and that will keep beating you until that fight. So, and I hope that he will be able to live away from that thing, to be able to concentrate more, to prepare for that fight properly, and then be able to show why he was the world champion before.
Dan, let me bring you in. I mean, and you've trained with Anthony Joshua. I mean, you guys are very close friends. It's scary to see what happened the last time.
Yeah.
But then again, even while we say that Anthony Joshua has gone under lock to make sure that that doesn't repeat himself, Reese also has gone under lock and he has shed some pounds, showing that he's ready to do more damage.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Just like what he said, it's about knowing what you've done wrong, and that's why I'm pretty confident myself that Anthony's going to make the wrongs right in this fight, because he knows what he did wrong in preparation to the fight. A lot of before the fight, he was talking a lot about other fighters and other fights in the future instead of concentrating on what he had at hand. And just like me, I've got a fight in December, but you never want to look past the one that's in front of you, and he thought it was a given. So just that mentally he wasn't focused on the job at hand. So I think that's what played a very big part, and again he knows what he's done wrong, and I'm sure in a rematch
is Reese not shooting himself on the foot by going to shed pounds?
I definitely agree with that, because he's naturally a fast fighter anyway, even though he's rather large, and the fact that he had natural weight on him, that's what, when he got knocked down, he was able to just come up, because he has that endurance in him. But when you lose weight like that, it takes away that endurance. You can't take as many punches, and I think that is quite a bad idea. But I think he's done it as well because of you get a lot of sponsorships and you want to look the part as well, so it's all part of that as well. So, but I think he is shooting his foot by losing weight.
Can I ask you a very, very difficult question?
Yeah.
What round is that bout going to end?
I think 8.
8 rounds.
Yeah, and he just showed.
Of course, that's the person I expect you to say.
Yeah. I think
I think what Tony should do now, because the fight didn't last that long, so before, what he's going to do is try and stretch this fight to give himself time to be able to study Reese very well, and then be able to know how to break him down. He has, I think, if you're looking at the two fighters, he has an edge of Reese in terms of fitness and terms of so he has to play on that advantage. So, and like every boxer knows, in the heavyweight category, no matter how strong you are, it only takes 1 point to bring down a right point to bring down a boxer. So he should try and avoid all that, and the less impact he gets, the more and better move. As long as he moves around on the ring, he stands a better chance of knocking him, as at the set time you said.
Okay, before we allow, because I know he's a busy man, I can see people telling him it's time to go to the gym. Okay, before we allow you go, just to say that we really appreciate your effort in trying to turn up and give 1 or 2 words of courage. For those who are watching, we encourage you to please, if you can, why not? Let's join him. Let's give him all the total support, because they say Saturday next week, Bethnal Green is the place to be. And he's one of those fighting. They say tickets are available, and his fight will be one of the first fights.
No, it's probably mid-fight. Yeah.
Okay, mid-fight. Yeah. So you hear from the horse's mouth. From mid-fight, he's going to be. So please turn up with family if you can. I will be there, so it tells you that it's going to be a bumper package. Let's support one of ours and give him all the support he needs. Thank you for coming, Dan. Really appreciate this. And I hope after your main fight, you return to give us. Let's see those beautiful belts.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah, you still ABC Sport is just sincerely Chris Obukwalo. Why not? So much to still talk about the eaglets they have out there. I mean, gone to the next round, but unfortunately, only yesterday. Made nonsense of some aspirations. We'll come to talk about them. What is the problem with Eaglets exactly? Lose every time they play, they must at least concede 2 goals. Even winning 3 points. They say what matters is just keep moving forward. Is that really what matters? Anyway, we'll come back to talk about that. These are many more. The Super Eagles, South Africa, looking on edge. Stay with me, we'll get to it all.
My daughter-in-law. So how are you planning for my son's birthday? I have to cook for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No. It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chiji, okay. Hi, so wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law. It's arranged. But you must use original red oil to prepare the soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijo, please include Isio Morocco. My daughter-in-law. Everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo per second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's Silk Boo-Boo.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.